Hey folks, so welcome back to part 2 of our solo mode demo. I mentioned part 4 in the end of the last video, and that was because I've had to record these videos in a few little batches and stitch them all together. So on YouTube anyway, this is part 2, so welcome back. I recorded that video last week as well, so sorry, I'm just having a quick moment to refresh myself where I am. I think the Huntress has just taken her turn, and I believe it's the Fighter Snail's turn, so let's go for it. Okay, so the Fighter Snail is always going to cast the highest cooldown spell, so that's going to be Slime over here. It's got a cooldown value of 3, and Slime is going to target an enemy. It's going to poison them, and it says that they must attack an ally next turn. Okay, so if you remember the targeting system, we're going to be targeting, so our highest stat here is Strength, with a total of 7. So we're going to be targeting the person or the player that has the highest strength value. So right now it's 5 on the Witch Doctor, it's 7 on the Musketeer, and it's 3 on this Witch Doctor here. We're going to be targeting the poor Musketeer. Going to grab a poison condition. I'm going to place poison here. It's immediately going to deal 1 damage, taking her down to 37. Oh, hang on. Nope. We've got a shield here, sorry, so 38. The shield goes down by a value of 1. I need to just grab another d6. Okay. And place that with a value of 3 next to or on top of this poison condition here. It's also going to grant the Musketeer -1 agility whilst you're poisoned. Now the -1 agility is passive, so it's not actually a token. So we recommend in the rulebook that you use a -1 token as a reminder on a hero board, but for the purposes of our cards only being able to have 1 buff or 1 condition at a time that's temporary, it won't actually count. So I'm just going to pop that on top here of these permanent ones from the reload. That concludes the Fighter Snail's turn. Oh no, my apologies, I forgot we've got the little, oh, let's lock these cards down, lock. We've got this condition here where we need to roll the boss die. What have I done with the boss dice? It's up here. We're going to roll this dice, and if we land on the knockback condition, it would also add that to the spell. And no, it landed on Drench, so Drench does not get added to the spell because it's not the requirement here. Okay, so we've got the Fighter Snail's turn over. Let's just double check. I think I missed something like this in the last video. I just need to make sure we're not missing them now. The Shamans have got these passive abilities here. So after an ally has cast a spell, you may assist them by casting Vexure. You may assist them by casting a Vexure. Okay, so automatically then we're going to have Gerson is going to cast a Vexure, which is intellect attack modifier. That's 8+1, that's 9. And again, this is going to be, oh no, this is different. So this is going to be targeting intellect value. Highest intellect, we've got 8, got 2 and 6, so we're going to be targeting the main character. And what did I say the damage was? 9 damage, wasn't it? 9 from 5, we're going to take 4, so that means the shield disappears, and then we take 2 off our HP. My apologies, it's an AoE, so it hits all enemies anyway, so we need to disregard the targeting system, that doesn't matter. It's going to hit everybody for 9. What we've got here, 2 minus 1 debuff, so that's 5. 9 from 5 is 4, so we lose the 1 from the shield, and then we go down 3 here to 35. And then it was 9 from 4, we're going to take 5 down to 32. That's the first attack. And then also, all allies gain 1 HP, bumping up to 17, and these two are still at full HP, so they can't gain any more. Just sort that eyesight. There we go. Okay, so that's that one assist done. And then we need to go on to the second assist here. We've got the vector. This time it's the single target. That's what was confusing me last time. We've got the intellect value, so it's going to be 1 plus, it's the same value, it's going to be 9, but it's a single target. So 9, we're going to hit the Witch Doctor again, the main Witch Doctor. 9 from 5 is 4, 4 from 42, and a 38. And then again, all allies will gain 1 HP, I believe. Yep, all allies gain 1 HP, so we're back up on the fighter snail to 18. Okay, that's their turnover. Then we're going over to, I presume it's this guy in the middle, because he's going to have the next highest agility, because we rearranged that in our previous video. Yeah, we got 6 and 4. So we know the deal, because we've just done it for free via the assist. Now we're going to do it again. So we're going to cast Evection. It was the AoE for 9 to everybody. And the allies are going to gain 1 HP, so I'm just going to do that now. Up to 19. So it's 9 from 5. We're going to take another 4 down to 34. Go. 9 from 5, we're going to take 4 here down to 31. 9 from 4, we're going to take 5 here down to 27. Okay, there's no cooldown dies, it's cooldown 0. Gerson has finished his turn, but as Gerson cast his Avexa, that also, because this was during his turn, we've got here the Goblin Shaman. Oops, sorry, I've snapped. The Goblin Shaman is also going to assist by casting his Avexa, and his Avexa was the same again, wasn't it? But it was only targeting the main character, the main Witch Doctor. So that was 9 and back up 1 HP. So you can see how tough these guys are already with the 2 Shamans being summoned with the double assists. So what I say is 9 from 5, we're going to take another 4 down to 30. Okay, Gerson has concluded his turn. So now we're over to the Witch Doctor, which is our main hero. So token upkeep. Then we come into our dice upkeep, so we've not had a turn this round, I believe. We're going to our hero upkeep, so I'm going to heal ourselves for 2 to 32. You may target up to 2 separate allies, so ourselves is 1. And then we're going to target the other Witch Doctor, and we'll give the other Witch Doctor 1 HP up to 28. And then what are we casting here then? We've got to get rid of them, haven't we? There's no point in leaving them there for a while. So confusion region. Yeah, let's go AoE then. Let's go Curse of Darkness. So our intellect is 6 plus 2 is 8. 8 plus the 4, that's 12. Plus the extra 1 that I missed last time. Over here from Curse Study. So I believe that's a total of 13. Oh, we're done. Total of 13 damage to everybody. So let's start with the Shaman over here. 13 from 6 is 7, knocking him down to 13. What did I say? 13 from 8 is 5, going down to 15. And 13 from 5 is 8, taking the snail down to 12. I'm also going to place Darkness on them for 3 turns, I believe. Oops, sorry, shuffle. Looking for Darkness. I can't see it because the pile is already here. So we've got a Darkness. darkness, and these darknesses are for 3 turns. So there we go. That is the Shaman's turn almost over, but what I am going to do now, after I cast my spell, before we go into the end phase, I am going to use this trinket item. It's got a cooldown of 4, and I know that because of this little, let me just lock the card, there we go, this little CD here in the middle, and a little green dot inside this sort of grey, this grey shape. It lets us know that it's an activated ability of the trinket. So cooldown of 4, and it says the equipped hero may drink from the flask of rum during their turn. I gain 2 HP and a 1 HP shield. So that's lovely. 1 there and 2 here. And then that concludes my turn, the Witch Doctor. So now we're over to our Witch Doctor ally. Witch Doctor ally turn. During your main phase, you may heal 2 separate allies for 1 HP each. Let's keep healing the main hero up because they're extremely important. And then we'll heal ourselves up to 29 as well. So that's the healing wave ability finished. And then we're going to come on into our Spider Plague ability. It's got a cooldown of 2, and it's an AoE for 2 plus the 6. So it's an AoE for 8. Let's start from right to left again. 8 from 6 is 2, down to 11. We've got an 8 from 8 is 0, an 8 from 5 is 3, taking the elite down to 9. Oh no, sorry, he's non-elite, is he? This is the elite here, the gold frame. Okay, that will conclude the Witch Doctor's turn, and then we're over to the last Shaman over here. And they're going to do their usual, they're going to cast their Avection. I think we've figured out who they're targeting already, haven't we? Because we've done this a few times because of this Tranquility ability. It's a single target. It's going to be 8 plus 1 is 9, and all allies are going to gain 1 HP. So let's bring these dice back up to 6 and 12. That's all their HP gained, and it's 9 to the main Witch Doctor. 9 from 5, we're deducting 4. 1 from the shield, 3 from the HP, then to 32. That's the Avection cast. But then this guy, Gerson, the elite, is able to, just about to see the name there, Gerson is able to cast his Avection as well. So this one was in the 9 on an AoE, and everybody gains an extra 1 HP. 17, 13, and it was 9 on the AoE. So let's go left and right. So we're going to take 5 here, then 24. We're going to take 4 here, down to 27. And what are we at 5, 9? We're going to take 4 here, down to 28. I believe we've done the HP. And then that concludes the end of round 1. Agility, I'm pretty sure, has not changed for anybody. So we'll reset the turn order. And we'll go again. It's over to the Musketeer. During the Musketeer's turn, then the Musketeer will lose 1 from the poison, going down to 26. Reload, cooldown dice. And then what we're looking at here is a range shot. So our range shot is dealing 5 plus 2 is 7, plus the extra 2. Just double check here. What's it called? A reload. Get plus 2 strength, minus defense. Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to be hitting 9 damage. But if we remember rightly over here, Slime, we must attack an ally next turn, which is currently on our turn. So we've got to attack an ally. So we're going to hit the poor Witch Doctor over here for 9. 9 from 4. We're going to take 5, knocking them down to 19. No cooldown dice to be placed on range shot. That concludes the Musketeer's turn. Now we're back over to the Fighter Snail. Fighter Snails. Oh, sorry, I did. My apologies. I missed. Did I miss? Which doctor here? Nope, it was just... This is the one I missed, my apologies. So the Goblin had just taken their turn recently, hadn't they? And I forgot to reduce the darkness condition down to 2 more turns instead of 3. So we're going to start that off correctly here. Down to 2 more turns for the dark. What's going on with the darkness? Our slime comes down to 2, and then we're going to cast our Shell Flurry. Our Shell Flurry is 5 damage plus our strength, which is 7. So we're going to single target for 12 damage, and we can immobilize an enemy spell for 3 turns. So 12 damage, and we're going to be targeting the enemy with the highest strength value. So it's that poor Musketeer, I believe. Strength of 5, strength of 7. It's going to be the Musketeer. And what did I say? It was 12 damage, did I say? 5 plus 7. Yeah, it's 12 damage. So it's going to be 12 from... from 4. We're going to be looking at 8. So taking ourselves down to 18. Then they're able to also immobilize an enemy spell for 3 turns. So it'd be silly not to. And on solo mode, we're always told up here in the little solo mode rulebook to always act in the best interests of the boss. Or not just the boss, I guess, the enemy monsters. Immobilizing a hero spell. Always immobilize a spell with a cooldown present. That is not what I was thinking about, sorry. I mean, yeah, you go. In short, always act in the best interests of the boss. So there's no cooldown dice to be placed on Shell Flurry. However, that cast will also trigger these 2 Tranquilities, which means these guys are allowed to cast their Hexes. So both Hexes are 9 damage. Now this one was the AoE, and this was the single target. So we do it one at a time. 9 damage over here, so we're taking 4 down to 24. 9 over here, 4 taking 5 down to 13, and 9 over here taking 5 down to 14. That's the first 9, and then these guys are all going to gain 1 HP. 18 up to 14. That's the first Vexure, and then we're going to do the second one, and that's going to be targeting the main Witch Doctor, and that was for 9 again. So 9 from 5. We're going to take another 4, taking ourselves down to 20. And that means they're also going to gain another 1 HP each. Okay, now that does conclude the Fighter Snail's turn. So then we're on to Gerson's turn, I believe. This is where I'm not going to mess it up. Gerson's goes down to 2. And then again, he's going to cast his Vexure ability. And it's a 9 on an AoE. Let's gain the health first, actually, whilst we're over here. So it's up to 4. That's back up to full at 20. And that's back up to 16. We really do with a can't be healed condition or wounded condition over here. Of which we do have here, the wounded condition, but didn't want to use it because it's only a single target. If it was an AoE, it would have been lovely. The Witch Doctor, the Ward Runner, or the Warlock, sorry, not Witch Doctor. What am I doing? Still got, I believe, some damage to take from, I believe it's from everybody. So it's the 9 from 4, so we're taking 5 here, so 15. We're going to be taking 5 here, taking us to 8. And then we're going to be taking 5 here, we're going to be taking us down to 9. Okay. And then my gut feeling is we've then got the Tranquility ability over here from the other Shaman, which is going to be a single target, and everybody's going to gain an extra 1. So back up to 17, back up to 15, and that's a single target, so it's going to be 9 over here. So we're going to take another 5, taking ourselves up to 10 HP. Okay, that concludes Gerson's turn. Then coming over to the Witch Doctor. So we're going to lose our 2+2s. Our dice upkeep, Curse of Darkness. Our only dice. Then we come into this phase here. We're going to heal somebody for 2. That's going to be ourselves. And we're going to heal somebody else for 1. The Musketeer can't do anything anyway because of this. So let's take this Witch Doctor back up the extra 1. And then we're going to come into our main phase. Do I want to keep the darkness on them? Oh, what am I doing? That was a misplay by me. That whole time, the poison. Where are we? 2 anyway. Should have been on the agility, not the. I don't know why I stacked it on top of the defense earlier. Oh, is it agility? Sorry. Yeah, that's my fault. I think it's because when I loaded it back up for the second time, the -1 was near the agility stat, so I just stacked it on top for some reason, just without really thinking about it or looking. So the Musketeers probably should have gained an extra health or 2. But not to worry, no sweat. Just trying to think if there's a way out of this for us. If we gain the HP, I'm going in with Acid Cloud. Let's just see what happens. So I'm going to get rid of the darkness that the enemies have. So it's going to be 6 plus 4. So I'm going to hit them all for 10 10 each. 10 from the snail. Snail's at 5. 10 from 5. 5. Taking them down to 10. 10. Only going to down 2 here to 18. 8 and 1. And then 10 from 6, 4. Down to 13 over here. Okay, sorry, I had to quickly pause the video there for a moment, so I'm just figuring out where we were. Oh, I know. Yes, we did the acid cloud, didn't we? So we've just hit them all, but we haven't applied the poison conditions. So because the cards can only have 1 condition at a time, we're going to be removing all the darkness. And we're going to be placing the poison on them. Now this is for 3 turns, the poison. They all immediately take 1. 17, 12. And they will also all get a -1 agility, which might have been nice a bit earlier. So let's just pop that on there for now and we'll have a quick little look. So poison. Let's place the agility here so we can see it. Okay, I think we've just taken all the agilities, the poison damage. So let's just tune in with agility. So we've got 5 over here. We've got 5, 5, and 3. Goblins last anyway. We've got 5, 5, and 3. We've got 5. We've got 6. The musketeer is still first. We've got 5 as well. 5, 5, and 3. So because these two have 5, 5 agility, 5 agility, there's now going to be a roll off. So we do 6. And we'll roll off for the main witch doctor. Let's say I'll be odds. They can be evens, so they win that roll. So they will still go before the main. So that stays exactly the same. And let's roll again. We'll take odds, and this is for. I say they win again, so it doesn't matter. But then that was for this witch doctor because their agility is 5 as well. Okay, so the turn order stays exactly the same, and my witch doctor's turn is over. Now on to the ally witch doctor. Cooldown dice goes to 1. They don't have a spell to cast. Two allies are going to gain 1 HP each. Going to be ourselves and the main hero. Then that witch doctor passes the turn, and then we're over to our last goblin. On the beginning of their turn, they take 1 from the poison, taking them down to 11, and they're going to cast a Vexure, so it's going to be 9 damage, and all allies gain 1 HP. So we're up to 18, up to 12. So and back to 10 there. So that's that gained. It's 9 damage, and it's coming towards the main hero. So we're going to go down 5, down to 8. Okay, that's the end of round 2. We have already rearranged the agility values, although nothing actually changed, but we did all the rolls. So this is all correct. And we start again over to the musketeer. Musketeer is going to lose 1 from the poison, down to 7. And she had her range shot immobilized. So she's got nothing which she can actually do this turn. I guess she's just recovering from the beating she's been given from these goblins and snails over here. That concludes her turn. We're over to Fighter Snail. Fighter Snail's cooldown down to 1. They'll lose 1 from poison, back down to 9. Can't cast Slime, so we're going to cast Shell Flurry. It's going to be 12 damage. Highest stat is Strength. It's going to be 12 damage. I think it's going to kill the Witch Doctor. 12 from 6 is 6. Sorry, no, there's a defense 5. 12 from 5 is 7. So yeah, that will kill. Oh, what's going on here? I've not put the right backs. And when I was setting up tabletop, I've clearly just been a little bit lazy and left the Witch Doctor back on all of those. So sorry. So our musketeer has passed. Has 1 down. However, though, after an ally has cast the spell, these two are going to be able to assist with their Tranquility ability, casting into a Vexure. Again, we know the deal. It's going to be 9 and 9. 9 from 5, we're going to be taking 4, taking us to 4. 9 from 4, we're going to be taking 5, down to 6. They're all going to gain their 1 HP, but I don't think we need to, because I think we might die here. So that would have been that first Vexure, then it's going to be the second Vexure, and then it was just 1 target. What are we at? Is highest intellect value, so I believe it'll be us 6 versus 6. And I guess, and it does say up here somewhere in the rule, but where does it say it? It mentions here somewhere. I'm just a little bit confused. I need to update this because we've extended it. There's been another page added on here, so there's not just the 6 pages. There's now 8 pages. There's another whole column here and up here. It mentions somewhere that the targeting system. Oh, there you go. It is there. Sorry. The enemy boss will always target the party leader with single target spells. I mean, this is referring to the boss, but it's effectively still the same. And it's just saying here that unless an ally or pet is within killing range. So whilst we are doing the targeting right now on behalf of the enemies, the 9 damage. Oh, what am I talking about? It kills both of them anyway. Yeah, because his defense is low, isn't it? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Sorry. So 9 from 4 is 5. So it would leave this witch doctor at 1. So it's in the best interests of the trash mobs to attack this witch doctor, our main hero. So the 9 from the 5 is going to be 4, and then the 4 would actually finish us off. Oh, I've clearly not got the right back on here either. There's the blood mage. I will update these once I finish playing here. Actually, I don't know why I've got the blood mage there. It's just copying and pasting assets clearly. Okay, so that's both those of Hexes cast. But then these guys, we do need to gain the 1 HP, so up to 14. This guy's back up to 20, and then this one is back up to 11. And then that would conclude this turn. Dead. And then we go to the shaman's turn, and then we know the outcome because it's predetermined. It's going to be 2 of Hexes into the death of our ally, unfortunately. So that is going to be a failed first scenario attempt. And then what happens when we fail? So once we fail, we'll take our little character. We come back to the Shire Hex. We unfortunately have to reset the scenario. So all these hexes would get flipped back down again. If we had defeated any bosses, the boss hexes, they don't reset. The boss hex, sorry, would stay exactly the same. That's they're the only hexes that would remain that way. And we're able to keep the character's progression. Okay, so we still keep these 2 spells unlocked. We'll still be what's going on here? We'll still be at level 2, and we would still remain with these 2 allies with us for this attempt, and then we would be able to start this all over again. Okay, so just for the purposes of my demo today, let's just check how we're doing for time. Very good. I'm going to cheat a little bit and say we defeated these monsters, but in one sense, this is a really nice demo actually, because it gives you guys a little bit of understanding of sort of how difficult the game is. What could I have possibly done different? I mean, looking back on it, I think the Curse of Darkness was probably much worse. I should have opened up with the Acid Cloud. Let me lock this board again, sorry. I mean, there's always something that you could have done different because the game is all about how you react to how your opponents are playing. Upon reflection, I probably should have Acid Clouded on my first turn into Toxic Strength. So my next attack would have had 50% extra damage, which is where the Curse of Darkness would have been significantly better. And then that way as well, I'd have been placing darkness on the enemies after the poison. So I would have got the benefits of the 50% extra because they would have been poisoned, and then I would have kept the darkness on the enemies, which is kind of what I wanted, because then when my allies here die off, I think that would have been enough damage to almost kill these trash mobs, because it's 8 undefendable damage. And if we work out the Acid Cloud plus 50% more from the Curse of Darkness, without working it all out, I think it would have probably been enough, and it'd been a significantly better play. So in this hypothetical demo, let's say those were my plays, and we did actually defeat those trash mobs. So We've got the 3 trash mobs here. So, and did I? No, and my apologies. We forgot at the very end of the last video when we summoned these monsters to take the loot items and put them underneath the chest token. Okay, so we take. Let's give the deck a little shuffle. We take 2 items at random. They'd have been placed underneath the chest token to let the attacking heroes, the opposing enemies, and know what's up for grabs if they defeat the enemies. And we know it's 2 loot items because there was an elite monster here. If Gerson wasn't there, and it's just these 2, it would have only been the 1 item. But because there was an elite, they're much harder. So we've got 2 loot items. So let's see what we've got here then. We've got some chainmail. We've got a gladiator's helm. Let's bring them across. Chainmail. Straight in the backpack. And I know that because it is a heavy loot item here with the little H. And our character is a light wearing hero. So the Witch Doctor can't equip that. This head item, though, we can, the Gladiator's Helm, because this is for both heavy and light wearing heroes. Gladiator's Helm grants the equipped hero permanent +1 strength, so it's not very good for us. It is more for a melee character, but we're not going to grumble at a buff, even if it's for a stat we don't really use. Let's have a look. Equipped hero against permanent +1 strength. Yeah, so it goes into this column here in strength. It's a permanent buff. And it's not semi-permanent, so we don't use this column here, represented by that little SP to remind us semi-permanent here. It's not a leveling up buff, so we don't use this column here. We use the column in the middle, which is generic permanent conditions. Again, it doesn't matter really where you put them. We just use this little system just to try to help people tick off the save game sheet a little bit easier once you're saving the game. So that it's easier, you remember where the buffs were from, if they were leveling up buffs or they're just permanent buffs, instead of just sort of having them mixed up a little bit. Okay, so those are our 2 loot items. Because I now have 2 loot items in my backpack, the Witch Doctor is going to be carrying the burden of these 2 loot items. We've got some chainmail and a crooked bow. As you can imagine, in real life, these items would be quite heavy, so that reduces our agility by a value of 1, and that is up here in the rulebook. Funnily enough, we literally have it on the page open there. That couldn't have got any more perfect for this little demo. And you can see here, for each 2 loot items in the backpack, the party leader receives a -1 agility. So because we've got 2, we get the -1. If we get 4, down to -2, and the maximum we can get is -4 agility by maxing out the capacity of the backpack token, which is 8 loot items. Okay. And in solo mode, the Witch Doctor has no choice. The main hero has to be the party leader. Your allies can't be the party leaders. Okay, so we're all buffed. We didn't level up, but we're good to go. I'm pretty sure we were on this last hex here, weren't we? So I'd say that we were victorious here. We'll just put these guys away. Oh, what am I doing? So I'm a bit of a tabletop simulator amateur, so you're going to have to bear with me, I'm afraid. Put all these away just to make my board look a little bit cleaner. And what I was getting at, sorry guys, is we're going to get onto a boss battle. So we can see how easy or how difficult this Hydra is. Okay, so make this a little bit cleaner. And then we get to actually see the monster cards and the monster deck and how that runs, because we've been shuffling these cards in based on the traits of the die roll here. Okay. Oh, sorry, I'm using the wrong stand here, aren't I? There we go. Okay, so we come on someone. Let's say our heroes were successful in that battle, and we're moving on through the scenario. So we're now moving onto this hex here because in my demo, it's the only way that we can go. I've only put a few select scenario hexes here because we want you guys to have a little bit of surprise and not knowing all the terrain artwork. So we're on this hex here, and by the way, I haven't done anything to scale in Tabletop Simulator, so I'm not sure how much space that you'll have here. I think I kept this a lot bigger for thematic reasons. So once we enter a boss hex, we don't take an exploration card because we're forced into a battle. This is now where, in the one versus many mode, this is where your villain player will be rubbing their hands together because they're not playing the little small trash mobs anymore. They've now got their full boss board. They would then take out the acidic hydra because that's who we've summoned here. That's who we bumped into. Okay, and they would play as the acidic hydra. So in solo mode, we're going to be playing the acidic hydra instead. I'll have a quick look down here. This is the boss modification card. So what do I need? I need a little cube. I forgot to place one over here, I believe. We're running the game on solo mode. Okay, what we got here? We've got solo mode here. The modifications: respawn ability, which is this ability here, respawn. The cooldown value of the die is 3 instead of 2, which makes it a little bit easier. We'll get onto that shortly. And the inconspicuous spell grants the left head 5 HP and the right head. So basically this, again, it's a little bit easier. Instead of 10 HP and 10 HP, it's 5 and 5. And the boss stats, they're -2 strength. -2 strength, intellect, and defense. That's nice and easy to remember. Have we got those out? We do, yeah. 1, 2, 3. Let's take those. Over here, so what did we say? We got -2 strength, defense, and intellect, I believe. -2, -2, -2, and they start at 30 HP. So we get our dice out. So if you notice here, the acidic hydra board is very different compared to all our other bosses because it's the only boss in the game at present that has 2 separate HP pools. And that's because thematically we wanted you to be able to attack each head individually. So the modification, normally the HP is at 56. On solo mode, our modification card tells us that HP is at 30. So we set our dice to 30. Oh, my snap grids. Don't like this. Can I just, for a moment, try and turn those off? So we've got 30 HP on the one head, and we're going to have another 30 HP on the other head. Okay. I think the boss is good to go. We want to have a quick look here. The boss is actually immune to stun, paralyze, and confused. The boss has 2 separate life totals, one for each Hydra head, hence why we just set up these 2. We've got a right head and a left head. Your spells below are divided into right head and left head rows. So we've got right head row here, and then we've got the left head row across the bottom. And it should say you may cast 2 spells per turn, one from each head only. Your spells are below are divided into I missed that sentence previously. The 2 spells per turn, so we're going to be able to cast one off the top row each turn and one off the bottom row each turn, effectively for each Hydra head. And when we attack the Hydra, we must declare which head that we're actually attacking. If we're attacking the right head or the left head, and that becomes apparent on some of these abilities here. So the abilities are always highlighted in red. So the ability here that we have is called Solo Intuition and Respawn. And in yellow before the red, this color here, this is the criteria in which this will take effect. So in order for Solo Intuition to come into effect, the criteria is a Hydra head dies, and it's exactly the same for Respawn. So when a Hydra head dies, Solo Intuition gives the boss +4 agility, 2 strength, intellect, and defense. It also says that the boss, what's going on here? That the boss must place a d6 dice here with a value of 2. It gets included in their dice upkeep, and when the d6 is removed, the Hydra head that died is revived with full HP. Okay, so that's where this will make a little bit more sense on the modification card when it said the respawn ability places a cooldown dice of 3 here instead of 2, giving the solo player that 1 extra turn to defeat the head that's left over before respawn kicks in and the head respawns again at full HP. Okay, let's just sort out the turn order card and then we are good to go. What's the agility value of the Hydra? So we've got 4. Let's just quickly reset these. Nope. You can tell I don't play on TTS very often. I'm still not learned how to master all these controls. Feel free to send me some tips if some of you guys are much more experienced with these software, well, these apps. 38, 37 HP over here. What have we got? We're at 44. Take that dice off. Take these dice off. Just having a quick look. Our board's looking good. They're looking good. So agility. So we've got 4, 7, and 5. The Musketeer is going to be going first, followed by the Witch Doctor ally, and then there's going to be a roll-off. And the roll-off is going to go between the Hydra and the main hero, myself, the Witch Doctor. And that's because our agility values are matched there at 4. So again, we'll take odds. The boss can have evens. The boss wins. I mean, every time. Best interest of the boss is going to go first. So I'm going to stay there. Let's grab the acidic Hydra. Oh no, there it is. It's already out. And we place the acidic Hydra here. Defense of 4. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's rock and roll. So we're over to the Musketeer. Musketeer, we're going to reload. Reload, place the cooldown dice. That's going to give us the +2 and the -1. The -1, I'll make sure it's in the right place, goes on the defense. And the +2 goes on the strength. Yeah, +2, -1. And then we're going to cast range shot. So there's no cooldown dice on range shot. It's going to deal 7 + 2. It's going to deal 9 damage. 9 damage. We are going to target. Let's start with the right head. Target the right head. 9 from 4 is 5, taking the Hydra head down to 25. That then concludes the turn of the Musketeer. Pass. Then we'll go over to the Little Witch Doctor. I say the little, I mean the ally card. Healing Wave, there's nobody to heal. We're all at full health. So we're going to go straight in, cast Spider Plague. Spider Plague is, what are we at? 2 plus intellect. Intellect is 6. 2 and 6 is 8. 8 on an AoE or area effect. Multiple target spell to both heads. So it's going to be 8 from 4. So both heads are going to be taking 4. So down to, we're off to a good start. 26 and 21. That then concludes. So then we go over to the Hydra. The Hydra has no tokens, so there's no token upkeep at the moment. There's no dice, apart from HP dice, they're not included in the upkeeps, so there's nothing to do. Now we come into the main phase. So instead of picking one of these spells, what we're now going to do is we're going to use this passive deck. The deck as the shuffle, we can see we've already got an aggressive card on top. So these two, sort of move them off to the side, I guess. We're not using those for the boss. So we take a card from the top and we resolve that action. And this was an aggressive card, and it says that you may cast your highest cooldown attack spell that has no cooldown dice on it. So let's start from the top to the bottom, I guess. We'll start with the right head, and then we'll start with the left head. So it's the right head. Right head, the highest cooldown spell is Poison Breath. Let's just get a few d6 out. So we're going to be casting Poison Breath. Poison Breath, cooldown of 5, and it deals 6 damage. Plus your right head gains HP equal to 100% of the damage dealt, which is perfect because the right head right now is actually at lower HP than the left. So 6 plus intellect, our intellect is 4. 6 and 4 is 10. Yeah, so it's just 10 damage. The boss always targets the party leader. There's none of the top trumps targeting system for the boss. So it's going to be 10 damage. We've got a defense of 5. We're going to be taking 5. We're going to go down to 39. So that means we've taken 5 damage. And the second part of this spell says your right head gains HP equal to the damage dealt. So 5 damage was actually dealt after defense. 21 goes back up to 26. Okay, that concludes the right head taking their spell. So then we go on to the left head. The left head gets to cast the spell. And again, we're going to take one of these cards from the passive deck. We're going to resolve that. We are more than 50% HP. So it says if our HP is more than 50%, we may cast our lowest cooldown support spell with no cooldown dice on it. So if we have a quick look at the hero board over here. Okay, sorry, I just paused my video. Let's just quickly remind myself of what it was. You may cast our lowest cooldown support spell with no cooldown dice on it. So it looks like we're going to be casting our Toxic Fog. Okay. Support spell with no cooldown dice on it. It's our lowest. Cooldown 2, 3. I think there are only 2 support spells. It's going to poison our enemies for 3 turns, and they can't be healed for 2 turns. To all enemies. So here we go. We got perfect. So you're going to be poisoned and can't be healed. Poisoned. So because the poison lasts for 3 turns and the can't be healed only lasts for 2 turns, I believe. Poison for 3 turns, can't be healed for 2 turns. In the boss's best interests, the boss is going to apply the poison to these cards because they can only have the 1 condition at a time. And they're not going to bother with the can't be healed condition. Okay, so they're both going to get their. Oops, what have I done? Sorry guys, I told you I was a bit of an amateur. Poison. Poison. We need our dice to track the length of time of the poison. And now we need to take all the HPs. So we lose 1 HP there. We lose 1 HP there. And we're going to lose 1 HP here. Place the cooldown dice. And that concludes the boss's turn. Both right head and left head have cast their spells. They've got nothing to do in their end phase. They pass the turn. And it comes over to the main Witch Doctor. So, guys, token upkeep, you're going to lose another 1 from the poison. And 37. We've done our tokens, our dice upkeep, then how many dice we just started. We've got this ability here. We're going to heal ourselves for 2. And we're going to heal the Musketeer for 1, up to 32. That's our hero upkeep concluded. We're now going to move into our main phase. And in our main phase, let's take advantage of our impending death. So our impending death, we're going to target one enemy. Let's have a look. So it's 1 damage plus intellect. Our intellect is 6. It's going to be 7 damage. We'll deal with the conditions in a moment. So it's 7 damage. We must select a head. Let's stick with the right, I guess. 7 from 4 would be 3, taking the head down to 23. There's quite a few conditions here that we're going to get applied. I think it was all the dots, wasn't it? Apart from drenched and lacerate. It's burn, bleed. No, sorry, it's just the 3 dots and then wounded. So what have we got? We've got poison already out. We are searching for a bleed. We're searching for a burn. And we're searching for a wounded. So let's take one of each. And they're going to go over here. Poison. And wounded. Is that right? It was the wounded for 3 turns as well. Yeah, all for 3 turns. Okay, so we're going to lose 1 HP, 1 HP, 1 HP from these 3 conditions. Okay, and the boss would get to pick which head loses the HP. They don't both lose it. Okay, so it's in the boss's best interest to keep the right head going down, because the boss effectively wants the one head to die, so they don't die together. The one head will respawn with this ability here. So we're going to lose the 3 HP off the right head, taking the boss down to 20 on the right head, 26 on the second head, or the left head, should I say. And that will then conclude. Maybe not. Let's have a quick swig of our rum out of the flask, shall we? Why not? So we're going to place a cooldown dice of 4 there. We're going to gain the 2 HP. We're going to gain the 1 HP shield. So 1 HP shield, and we're back up to 41. Okay, that concludes round 1. Let's move on into round 2. Agility values, I don't believe, have changed, so turn order stays exactly the same. Coming into the Musketeer's turn. At the beginning of the Musketeer's turn, Musketeer is going to lose 1 from the poison, down to 31. Reload comes down to 2, and then the Musketeer. Here we go, got the dice. Oh no, I keep forgetting to call down 0, there's no dice. We're going to be attacking for 2 plus the 7, so we're going to be attacking for 9. This time we're going to attack the left head, so 9 from 4, we're going to deal 5 damage, taking that head down to 21. Because like I said, we kind of want to bring both heads down evenly, so this respawn ability doesn't bite us in the backside when the one head dies. That is the Musketeer's turnover. Now we're over to the Little Witch Doctor. I keep saying little. Over to the ally card Witch Doctor. We lose 1 from the poison, down to 35. Our Spider Plague is almost back. He's recharging. That'll be back next turn. We do get to heal 2 allies for 1 HP each. So let's heal the main hero, and let's heal the Musketeer back up to 32. That concludes the turn here. Then we're back over to the boss. Boss is going to lose 1, 2, 3. So we're going to take the 3 off the same head again. 17. That was the token upkeep. Then we've got the dice upkeep. This boss doesn't really have a boss upkeep, so it's just their passive abilities. So we just move straight on into the main phase, where we're going to take those 2 cards again. So we're going to start with the right head. Oh, let's have a quick look. What's our HP of the right head? 17. So this one, as you can see here, deals different damage based on what threshold of HP our boss is in. So boss is at 17 HP, so it's going to deal 14 damage on all attacks of the party leader. So it's going to 14 damage to the Witch Doctor. 14 from 5 is 9. We've got that one shield, that takes down to 8. 8 from 42. What are we at there? 36, I think. 36. Okay, that's the right head. Then we're going to resolve. The left head takes their turn. So we take another card from the deck, resolve that one. And now this says for the right head, they may cast the highest cooldown attack spell that has no cooldown dice on it. Cooldown attack spell that has, what did I say? Sorry, is it the highest? Highest cooldown attack spell, no cooldown dice on it. So it's going to be Poison Claw. So Poison Claw, first off, we've got to roll to see if we add a knockback condition to the spell. So let's roll this dice here. It does indeed. Okay. So the spell is also going to knock back. So it's 5 damage plus strength. Strength at the moment is 5. It's 5 and 5. That's going to be 10 damage. I'm just going to work that out first. So 10 from 5, we're going to take 5 down to 31. We also have a knockback condition. Those of you that aren't familiar, knockback means we have to skip our next main phase action. Otherwise, unless we lose 4 HP. What have we got here? Flip it over. There we go. If you're on the token upkeep, you must pay 4 HP to move into your next phase, which effectively means if you don't, you would skip that phase and then go straight to end phase. So it's 4 HP to get back up effectively. What else did the spell do? So that was the knockback. We are confused and we're also poisoned for 3 turns. Let's just grab a confused condition. And we're already poisoned. So if you're familiar with how the game runs, in the rule book, I'll find it for you actually. It's not too far from here. There we go. Stacking the same condition. So should a hero already carry a condition that is being applied, they must remove the existing one and reapply the new one for X amount of turns as stated on the new spell. The reapplying of the condition will trigger its effects, if any. So because we're already poisoned, we've now got to reapply the poison. So effectively, we take that off and then we reapply it. So that reapplying will trigger the effect. So we're going to lose another 1 from the poison, taking us down to 30, and then we're confused. Confused means we can't cast any of our top spells here. Any of this top row here because we're confused. So we can only attack next turn. What am I doing with this over here? There we go. That's good. That's good. That's all good. Okay, so that concludes the Acidic Hydra's turn because both heads have had their go. And then we'll move on. So the Acidic Hydra will flip their turn order token down in their end phase. And then we come over to the main Witch Doctor, so our main hero. So we're in our token upkeep. So in our token upkeep, we are going to pay the 4 HP. Get back up. So that means we're allowed to remove this condition. The can't be healed condition will now move. Confused. And we're poisoned, so we lose another 1 from the poison, so we're down to 25. Okay, so that's the token upkeep done, and I'm going to move into the dice upkeep. 5 goes to 4, nice and simple. Then we go to hero upkeep. Hero upkeep allows us to heal somebody for 2. That's going to be ourselves, and somebody else for 1. Then we're going to move into our main phase. Remember, we're confused, so we can only cast attack spells. for an attack spell. What do we go for? Let's go Undying Force. So the first half of the spell, we're going to target the Acidic Hydra, because obviously he's the only enemy we've got. We're going to give him -2 defense for 3 turns. So we're going to take a -2. Goes in the defense stat for 3 turns. This is defense -2 for 3 turns. That was the first half of the spell. Second half of the spell allows us to attack. We're going to attack the Hydra because there's nobody else to attack. It's 3 damage plus an intellect attack modifier. Please excuse me. The joys of sitting in front of a window, and it's really sunny here today in the UK. So it's 3 damage plus our intellect. Intellect is 6 plus 3. That's 9. It's not a curse, so it's just 9 damage. 9 damage. Defense is only 2, so 9 from 2 is 7. Let's take the 7. Let's attack the right head this time. Sorry, no, the left head this time. So 21 minus 7 is going to take us to 14. Okay. Oh, sorry, I missed that dice. Our dice upkeep. And that's going to conclude the Witch Doctor's turn. Into round 3. Musketeer. Poison gets removed. Reload. We're going to reload again. It allows us to cast our range shot after casting reload. So we would have temporarily lost those buffs, but we've reloaded, so we just gained them again. So I left them there. And then we're going to attack again for 9 damage. 9 damage. Let's take it from this top one. 9 from 2 is 7. Nice and easy math. Round to 10, we'll get in there. 14 and 10. That will be the Musketeer's turn over. Then we're moving into the Witch Doctor's turn. Witch Doctor takes the 1 from the poison down to 34. Spider Plague cooldown comes back. We're going to heal somebody for 1 and somebody else for 1. Let's heal the main hero and let's heal ourselves. And we're going to cast Spider Plague. Cooldown of 2. It was 2 plus intellect, so that's 8. 8. What have we got? 8 for 2. So we're going to be hitting for 6. So this head is going to be down to 4. And this head is going to be down to 8. And then the Shaman passes turn. Then we're over to the boss. Boss's turn. Token upkeep, lose 1, lose 2, lose 3. So we're going to lose the 3 off this 1 head here. And we're going to go into the dice upkeep. Okay, and then we're going to cast our spell. So we're going to be right head. What's the right head doing? The right head, it says you may cast any spell that will benefit you the most in your current situation. 5 damage plus 4 undefendable with the poison. That's quite a nice attack. I think we're going to try and bide our time a little bit. Let's cast Poisonous Health. Poisonous Health says, whilst the cooldown dice on this spell or on Poisonous Health, both Hydra heads gain 2 HP when an enemy suffers damage from poison. Some poison over here, we've got some poison over there. Okay. Yep, I think that works well. Then we're going to cast the spell for the left head. So the left head is going to take a card from the passive deck. I'm going to flip it over. We know we're really close to dying, so we're at 1 to 19 HP. It says we gain 4 strength and 4 intellect. Do we have those in here? Yeah, we got them. +4 and +4. So we need 2 of these. 4 strength, and 4 intellect, let's say. Yeah, it was for 3 turns, wasn't it? Yeah. Just double check. Yeah, we're at 8. Okay, so then the Hydra has finished their turn. So the Hydra passes, and it's over to here. So it's over to the main hero, the Witch Doctor. So we're going to go token upkeep first. So we're going to take 1 damage from poison. 27. That 1 damage will heal both Hydra heads by 2 HP from the poison's health. So this dude's going to go back up to 10, and this one goes up to 3. That's a token upkeep. And I'm going to dice upkeep, so we're going to go down to 4 here and 3 here. Done. We're going to come on into the hero upkeep. We're going to gain ourselves 2 HP. And why not heal the Musketeer for 1? 33. And then into our main phase, we're still confused, so we can't cast any support spells across the top. We can only cast our attack spells. See if we can do it with Acid Cloud. We're going to cast Acid Cloud. So we're going to hit both heads for 4 damage plus intellect. Intellect is 6. We're going to hit both heads for 10. Their defense right now is only 2. So 10 from 2 is 8. That will defeat this head. This head immediately dies. So that immediate death will kick in this. But let's have a quick look. What was the damage again? 10. Yeah, so it's only the defense stat really that we need to worry about. So what have we got? Let's have a quick look. So we've got 2, 2, and 2, and then 4. 2, 2, 2, and 4 was on agility, was it? Okay. So sorry, it was 10, wasn't it? So 10 from 4 is 6, taking this head down to 4 HP. Then we're also going to poison it from the acid cloud, so it's going to lose another 1 down to 3 HP. Let's grab that poison condition. The poison condition will also temporarily grant the -1 agility. Again, this is a passive thing that happens through the poison, so we recommend using a -1 to track it, but it's not actually a token for the purpose of any spells that remove tokens. It's not effectively a negative buff that can be removed. Okay, so we've done all of that. The only thing we haven't done now is the respawn ability here. So we place a dice on this ability here for a value of 3, because the modification card lets us know that the respawn ability places a cooldown dice with value of 3, and this one says 2. So that's the modification there for us. It means we've got 3 more upkeeps of the acidic Hydra before the other head respawns. But I don't think he's getting another turn anyway. So let's have a quick look at the agility. 4 and 4 is 8, -1 is 7. Now Musketeer has 7, so there'll be a roll-off. Musketeer will be odds. We'll let the boss have evens. Musketeer wins. Then on the Musketeer's turn, we will be reducing our cooldown, and we're going to cast our range shot. Our range shot's going to deal 9 damage. I think that will kill the head and make us victorious. So our defense right now is 6 minus 4 is 2, plus that thing negate each other out, so it's 4. 9 from 4 is 5. That indeed will make us victorious. Unlock the board. Oh, we've got the right artwork. And that will mean that we've killed the acidic hydra. Okay. Loot items. Okay, so the loot items, again, we forgot to put them under the chest. But for solo modes, we are always looking at 2 loot items. Take 2 loot items. Those should have been under the chest. Let's open the chest. And what have we got? We've got an elixir of immortality, and we have a black frost tunic. Let's bring those over here. The elixir has a cooldown of 6, and it grants us damage immunity for 1 turn. And whilst I like that, I don't think it's quite as good as the Flask of Rum. So I'm going to keep hold of that and put that in my backpack. And we may as well equip the chest because we can. It's a light and heavy, and it grants us +1 frost damage. Whilst we don't have any frost spells, again, it's kind of a useless item, like the Gladiator's Helm. We might as well equip them, because when we find something to replace it, we can pop these loot items into the backpack instead. Okay, so that's the loot done. We will also now be leveling up. So we're going to be going up to level 3, which will grant us because we have gone on to one of these gold, so the odd levels, we gain a +1 stat. Okay, so level 3, we're going to gain a +1. So what we're now going to do is take a +1. We're going to put it on a stat. And again, if you're not too familiar with the rule book, this is the level column here. Okay, so we can't place it on defense because we already have it on defense. The only time that we can place another one on the same stat is once all of these are taken. Okay, so I think we're going to place it on intellect because we use intellect for almost all of our, well, yeah, for absolutely all of our attack spells. Yeah, intellect there as well. So that's the increase there. Yeah, I think it makes sense to either go intellect or agility. Maybe agility. We'll stay with intellect. We'll stay with the intellect. And then we would now go through just the quick rigmarole of resetting everything. So the hero board would get reset again. All the dice tokens would come off. The same for all the ally cards. I'm about to end my video now, and I'm just going to clean up my board in general because it's looking quite messy with me just dumping tokens and dice all over the place. So yeah, so there you go, guys. That's a quick, brief demo of how our solo mode runs. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like on the video, or mention something in the comments. Ask any questions that you have for us. If you're a Kickstarter backer, you obviously got the opportunity to comment and post something on our comments section of the Kickstarter campaign as well. Or you can directly message me via Kickstarter, and I'll be sure to answer any of your questions. In our next Kickstarter update, we're going to have both of these 2 videos going out and a link to the Tabletop Simulator solo mode. So you guys don't just have to watch. If you have access to Tabletop Simulator, you'll be able to jump in and have a little play yourself, and then give us some feedback and let us know how your first few hexes of the Earth scenario went. If they went as successful as mine or as bad as mine. My boss was very successful, but those trash mobs actually did defeat us. So we cheated a little bit there. But thank you ever so much for tuning in, guys. Appreciate you all being here and sticking it out to the end. So take care, and we'll catch you in another video. Bye bye.